Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Critical support staff at the Launceston General Hospital say they fear for their jobs, which are set to be cut from Tasmania's health service as soon as next month. The federally funded roles were established during the pandemic, with the state government yet to confirm if it will pick up the bill.
Brought on to help keep us safe during the pandemic. Elizabeth doesn't know whether she'll still have a job next month.
Pretty scared. I've enjoyed working in the medical ward and being a ward clerk.
She and her co-workers are on the front line supporting the hospital's nurses and providing reception services for visitors.
They're important support staff that ensure the flow of patients throughout the hospital.
Since the roles were introduced in 2020, support workers say they've become indispensable at the LGH.
So if a ward clerk is not there, then the visitors won't be able to come in because the nurses won't have the time to be able to come in and to answer the door.
Elizabeth's position has been federally funded, but unions say the state government won't be picking up the tab when the money runs out.
The state government were very well aware that that was finite funding and for a period of time, and after which the state was responsible for taking over that funding.
Around 40 ward clerks, hospital aides and environmental services officers will be affected.
And as it currently stands, on June 17, the funding for those positions will cease.
The ANMF says losing the support workers will put even more pressure on the hospital's already overstretched nurses and midwives.
Because the reality is the environment hasn't changed, the needs haven't changed, and they will yet again be asking nurses and midwives to do more and more with less.
Workers walking off the job today in hopes of saving their positions.
What do we want? Support staff! When do we want them? Now!
The state government today defending its spending on health.
We've employed more doctors, more nurses, more involved in delivering health services than ever before. $8 million a day in health services.
Late this afternoon, a spokesperson for the government said the LGH is now looking at what alternative employment opportunities there might be. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
A teenage boy is being treated in the Royal Hobart Hospital for significant facial and head injuries after he was hit by a car last night. Police say the 13-year-old was crossing Main Road Rosetta near the Brooker Highway entrance when he was struck by a silver Honda Civic driven by a 65-year-old woman. Anyone who witnessed the crash or has dashcam footage is urged to contact police. A 19-year-old Chigwell man has been charged with unlawfully possessing and recklessly discharging a firearm after allegedly shooting a single cartridge into a house in Goodwood last night. Officers were called to Allardyce Avenue just after 8:30, but the accused had already fled the scene. The home was occupied at the time, but no one was injured. He will front the Hobart Magistrates Court tomorrow. A former state Labor MP has pleaded not guilty to a charge of emotional abuse and intimidation. Catherine Hay is accused of punching and verbally abusing her partner between 2011 and 2022. She appeared via phone link in the Magistrates Court today in Launceston. The case has been adjourned until July 18. Large-scale rent-to-build developments are being touted as a possible solution to the state's housing crisis. Labor has announced they'd fund a scheme if elected. While slammed by the state government, it's got the backing of industry.
51 houses due for completion early next year are set to flood Kingston's rental market.
There's a developer behind us that will own this project and they will manage the rental portfolio moving forward.
Labor wants to incentivise large rent-to-build developments like this, announcing a new policy to offer 50% land tax concessions.
They give tenants certainty that they know that that's going to stay as a private rental property. It's not going to be sold again by the landlord.
New figures from PropTrack say median rents in Kingston rose by just under 10% last year. It's a similar story across the rest of Hobart.
Look, it's as close to a silver bullet as we can get. With build-to-rent projects, often you're having upwards of 30 apartments come online, which means when supply goes up, rental prices go down.
Backed by the Property Council, but not the Housing Minister.
In terms of any Labor plan, of course, they don't know how to run the economy.
Instead, spruiking his expanded private rental assistance scheme funded in last week's budget. He's also claiming similar schemes interstate have mainly funded high-end apartments.
That statement's just inaccurate and false. What we're seeing in other jurisdictions is a pipeline that provides across the spectrum of the housing affordability.
It's a sneak peek from opposition leader Rebecca White's budget reply speech tomorrow. With uncertainty over when the next election will fall, Labor's setting about outlining its policy platform. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians are being warned a single extreme weather event might spell the end for the endangered Maugean skate. Greens Senator Peter Whish-Wilson renewing calls to halt salmon operations in Macquarie Harbour, the only body of water the rare fish can be found. A recent IMAS report found the population has dropped by almost half.
We are facing an extinction on our watch just after the Federal Minister has pledged a zero extinctions pledge on her watch.
The state government says there are many factors affecting the skate's survivability, but it's working with the Commonwealth on protecting the species. As we head into the depths of winter soon, most Tasmanians will be lighting up bonfires or their wood heaters, which can affect asthmatics. As smoke pollution increases, a survey is looking at how they are navigating life with the condition.
Life as an asthmatic can be a challenge for many Tasmanians. Seeking to understand how their quality of life in the state is being affected, Asthma Australia is conducting a survey.
So there are about 66,000 people with asthma in Tasmania, so the prevalence is about 12.9%, which is one of the highest in the country.
For many, air quality becomes a factor in the colder months. Some people turning to wood fire heating, leading to smoke pollution.
There's a lot of things that can affect someone with asthma. The cold weather can be a trigger for a lot of people, but also it coincides with a lot of wood fires.
Carol Stein's 6-year-old son is one of many living with asthma in the state.
He's been diagnosed for 5 years, but it's only in the last sort of 12 to 18 months that we've got good control over his asthma.
Miss Stein's family made adjustments, including avoiding snow trips and intensive bike rides. Navigating around Tasmania's healthcare system also a challenge from a treatment perspective.
If he has an asthma flare-up, I sometimes can't get into the GP for up to 5 weeks, which is completely ludicrous.
Results from the survey will be used to design new programs to better support patients.
It's across the spectrum. We want to really understand deeply what goes on for people with asthma in Tasmania.
More information can be found on the Asthma Australia website. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, a Tasmanian sporting team is making news again, but this time it's netball related. Members of the public are lobbying for a spot in the Suncorp Super Netball competition after Collingwood's decision to throw in the towel.
They're the Super League stars contracted to play in Tasmania twice a year, but that deal, secured just 6 months ago, is now dead in the water following Collingwood's exit from the competition.
Ultimately, probably not a huge surprise, and I think long term probably in the best interest of the sport if they're not committed to netball.
Leaving Netball Tasmania to figure out its next move.
Lots of inquiries and conversations and speculation about what that might mean for Tasmanian netball.
The government committed $1.23 million to the Magpies over 3 years, but says any funding to them is contingent on matches being played here. And with the team concluding at the end of this year, so does the partnership. Members of the public now calling for that money to be redirected to our own Tasmanian team.
It would be a really exciting thing to be able to provide, something at the top end of the pathway to be, aspirational for young Tasmanians playing netball.
Others say it's unlikely Tasmania will make its national debut under the current deal, with Victoria a front-runner for 2 teams in the competition. The Magpies will play their final Tasmanian match at Launceston Silverdome next month. Supporters hoping it won't be the last they see of elite-level netball in the state.
For young kids, that you can't be what you can't see, so it's important that they can have that access.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
More than $38 million in no-interest loans remains available to Tasmanians looking to lower their energy bills. Just over 1,350 applications have been approved in the state government's Energy Saver loan scheme since it opened in October.
We were already in the market. The loan allowed us to actually be able to take it to that next level, which is effectively future-proofing the system.
We've found with a lot of them their fortnightly repayment is not that much difference to the energy they're saving based over the time that they're having the system.
Up to $10,000 is available to be used for solar systems, electric heating, double glazing or battery storage solutions. Councils are now working through the next stage of the local government review. The state's 29 councils have been given information packs with potential scenarios for amalgamation and boundary movements. The consultation period is open until August 2, with final recommendations to be handed to the Minister by the end of October.
North Hobart are taking confidence from a major upset and one of their biggest wins in the TSL over the weekend. The Demons were able to hold on at home against the reigning premiers, with Vice-Captain Jack McCulloch notching up 3 goals to his name.
To actually win one of these games should give us a huge amount of confidence. But yeah, just shifting that mindset now from being happy with being competitive to actually winning these games, that's going to be the key going forward.
The side is hoping to build on that momentum as they face another tough competitor in Lauderdale this weekend. And that brings us to the Crips TSL Player of the Year votes after 8 rounds. Sam Siggins claiming the 3 points for Lauderdale against Glenorchy, with coach Alan Christensen getting 2. Launceston's Joby Harper gets the top honours for his efforts despite the loss against North Hobart. And North Hobart's Ben Simpson gets 3 points in his team's upset win against the Tigers. To the leaderboard now, and Jack Tompkinson remains at the top, with Simpson only 2 points behind in second. Clarence's Sam Green sits at third. The Tasmanian Tigers have been put to the test as pre-season officially begins for the men's squad. After suffering a number of big departures from the group, captain Jordan Silk remains confident in the strength of their top order. Back in the gym and braving the cold as they look to get a head start for the summer of cricket.
First month is just building that base up again, getting the guys tuned up, get their bodies right, and then rip into some skill work from sort of July onwards. So.
Aiming to bounce back after a difficult run, the exit of big personnel isn't shaking the Tigers leader as they get back to work.
I think our batting group potentially sets up as one of the better, top 6s. Top 7s in the country, so I still think we can be extremely competitive.
Boasting a group of up-and-coming stars, the young Tigers stand to benefit from the maturity of veteran Matthew Wade, who will return to the batting lineup for the entire season.
And once summer rolls around, our understanding is that we're getting a full commitment from Wadey and full season in Tigers colours, which is really exciting for our group.
A number of recruits are yet to join the team while they suit up overseas, with breakout BBL star Paddy Dooley among the additions to the bowling lineup.
As we saw last year, sort of burst onto the scene. So excited by potentially some red ball prospects for him, and we know his white ball capabilities are there.
Putting in the effort early to make an impact on the pitch. The Kingborough Lions are relishing in their dominant WSL display over the weekend. The side proved far too strong for the third place Devonport Strikers after sending them back north with a 4-point defeat.
And I think our strengths lied all over the park on Saturday. Just from defence to midfield to our attackers, we were just able to execute a really good game.
Meanwhile, in the men's competition, it was a goal in the dying minutes that helped the Strikers shore up success against the Zebras. A Tasmanian cycling young gun has been named to represent the country on the international stage. Coming off the back of a sensational winning streak, Launceston's Sam McKee will make up a spot in the Commonwealth Youth Games squad. The star athlete will travel to Trinbago with 7 other Aussies to compete in August. And that's all in sport, Kim.
He's doing well. Thank you very much, Grace.
Good evening, everyone. Launceston, the state's top today of 16 degrees, Devonport 14, 13 in Burnie and Hobart reaching 12. Across the state, King Island and St Helens 15, 14 on Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches, Wynyard and Lowhead 13, 11 in Grove and Lyowini saw a top of just 4 degrees. Low-level cloud can be seen covering most of the west and parts of the south of the state today, with high cloud moving in from the southwest. Further out, low cloud is also covering southeastern Australia, with an area of high cloud over the southern coast of Western Australia. The rest of the country is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, a cold front is seen near the southwest of Western Australia, while a large area of high pressure persists over the mainland. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots, reaching 30 to 40 knots about the south and upper east, swells reaching 4 metres in the west and south. And there is a gale warning in place for the east of Flinders Island and from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape, and a strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters and inshore lakes. Increasing showers and 17 in Hobart tomorrow, 16 in Adventure Bay, Tarraleah showers and 13. Launceston and Devonport both showers and 17, windy and 16 in Bridport. 16 and showers in Burnie and Marrawar tomorrow, Strawn a top of 15. And in the east, 17 in St Helens and Swansea, and showers and 16 in Whitemark. Looking on to Wednesday, showers with snowfalls to 900 metres in the south. Showers contracting to mainly the west on Thursday with strong and gusty southwesterly winds. And on Friday, showers about the west extending to the north during the afternoon. 24 in Perth tomorrow, a shower or 2 in Adelaide, Melbourne 18, sunny in Sydney and Brisbane, and 22 degrees in Alice Springs. And currently mostly cloudy and 8 degrees in Hobart, Launceston 7 and mostly cloudy, and Devonport also 8 degrees. And Kim, some strong winds and rain statewide over the coming days.
And that is all your news for this Monday evening. We'll have updates throughout the night. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night. See you again tomorrow.